It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission: win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get after you guys, yeah?
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
From the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at Walt Disney World Resort, this is USL Pro Soccer 2014. Tonight, the Orlando City Lions host the Richmond Kickers in the regular season finale. Good evening and welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Ratcliffe. Thank you so very much for joining us for another YouTube telecast of Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer right here on YouTube. And I'm joined by David Dykes, kind enough to fill in for the vacationing Tom Traxler. And I tell you what, Orlando City is not taking a vacation. They got things done. They won the regular season championship. They will have the top seed, but they want to go out in style tonight, don't they?
Yeah, good evening, Jeff. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to Orlando City. They're obviously looking now to keep their home record going, take some momentum going into the playoffs. And if they keep winning, they'll keep playing at home and eventually, hopefully, be playing here the final.
You know what? The Richmond Kickers thought this game was going to mean something. They thought this may mean the difference between 1 or 2. You see, all time, Orlando City leads the history 4-3-1, so Richmond has been able to play them quite well over the years, but the Kickers lost back on the 23rd of this month, 3-2 at home to Orlando. They have not won since.
No, and if Richmond lose tonight and LA Galaxy 2 win, then Richmond drop to 4th, and they could be back here in 2 weeks playing Orlando City. So I'm sure they want to avoid that, show Orlando City that they mean business going into the playoffs. Right. And look to start some momentum themselves.
Well, Matthew Delicott, the team's leading scorer, still out with injury, so picking up the slack. So hopes Lee Kalishaw will be George Davis IV. That name should be familiar to you Orlando City fans. He was on loan here back in 2012, and he's made a nice home for himself in Richmond. Yeah,
he's got some impressive stats this season. He's played the most games for Richmond. He's second leading scorer, most assists, most shots. So, you know, going by those stats, everything's going to go through him. He'll take free kicks, corners, so expect to see him have a lot of the ball.
Number of Orlando City players back in the lineup off of injury. You're talking Luke Bowden and Anthony Pulis, Corey Herzog, but getting the start at striker for the 3rd straight game, Giuseppe Gentile, the number 9. Yeah, important game for him, you know, with those strikers that you just mentioned. It's a tough choice for Coach Heath, who's going to start in the playoffs. So it's a big game for him. Can he perform and give Adrian Heath a tough choice? Well, the Lions wrapped up the Commissioner's Cup Thursday night with a 0-0 draw at Wilmington, but Adrian Heath certainly thinks this game will matter.
Well, hopefully they can relax and play their football, but in terms of winning the game, that doesn't change. The mindset will be exactly the same. You know, I thought at one stage a few weeks ago, I thought this game could have been the decider. So it's nice going into it knowing that we've already wrapped it all up and we're all going to get home field advantage for the playoffs. But we want to win every game. And that's one of the things I've just mentioned to the boys. We had a good night out Wednesday. I let them let their head down a little bit, but it's been as usual now, and we focus on the next few weeks. Most important thing is we keep our record at home. We've got, was it 15 wins and a draw, 16, something like that. So it's been the Wild World of Sport's been very good to us this year, and that was why it was so important for us. If you look at our home record going into the playoffs, it's going to be a huge boost for us.
Well, that's head coach Adrian Heath. Well, when we come back, we'll have the starting 11s for each side and kickoff between the Richmond Kickers and Orlando City Lions next on YouTube. Ely with our national anthem here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Just minutes away from kickoff between Orlando City and Richmond. Let's meet the starting lineups for each team. First, for the visitors, coached by Lee Kalishaw, the 43-year-old, now in his 15th season there in Richmond. His goalie tonight will be Ryan Taylor. Out on the edges in the backs, Stephen Basso, Matthew Hall, the journeyman veterans in the USL Pro. Looking at Connor Shinoski, William Yambi, two 6'4" center backs. And Hugh Roberts, also a center back, will be playing there in the midfield. So Richmond going big. Luke Vercoloni, the regular there in the midfield as well. We talked about George Davis. Shea Spitz, a playmaker there. Number 27, Juan Arbalez out on the right. And Jason Yeisley will be the starter at forward for Richmond. Orlando City coming in. 18-4-5 on the season, coached by Adrian Heath, 53 years old, out of Stoke, England. Carl Wazinski, third straight start in goal for the Columbus, Indiana native. Across the back, it will be Luke Bowden making his return, Tommy Redding, Rob Valentino, and Brian Burke out on the right. Estrella, one of the Benfica players that have just joined this roster in recent weeks, will be in the holding mid position along with Harrison Heath. Kevin Molino, the league's leading scorer there in the hole. Adama Mbenge, Kobe Spann flanking him. And Giuseppe Gentile will be the striker, the 21-year-old out of Miami. Our referees tonight will be headed up by Rubiel Vasquez. He'll be assisted by Brian Pochel. Mark Cahan and Matt Miscannon will be the fourth official. So glad you're with us as each team gets their final sets of instructions from their respective English head coaches. And I've got an English partner tonight in David Dyke, so glad you're with us.
No problem, Jeff. Yeah, it seems to be an English feel to it with the two coaches out there. They actually know each other very well. They've got some history back in England, so I'm sure they'll be sharing a beer afterwards.
English weather too, a little overcast and damp. You gotta love this, right?
It's just like being at home.
See Connor Shinoski there, who is the loanee from DC United, 6'4", 185. So I think Lee Kalishaw wants to stop basically the skill players of Orlando City from running circles around them like they did back on the 23rd of August.
Yeah, I can see it being a tough start here. You know, it's obviously a big lineup. They've got a big presence. I can see them putting some pressure on Orlando City early here. You know, seeing if it can take away some of the home momentum that Orlando have got.
Goalies Wazinski for Orlando, and then Ryan Taylor, a native of suburban Richmond out of Midlothian, 24 years old. He'll have a tough task tonight. Orlando City unbeaten at home in the purple, moving from right to left. Richmond, the Kickers, coming in third place, trying to lock up that third seed tonight with a result. Light rain dropping on the field. Does that favor either team? Does it favor the team with skill?
A little bit. You know, the field will be watered heavily anyway, so I don't think the rain would affect that. Both teams would expect it to be this slick, and you know, Orlando certainly will have no problem with that. That's how they want the surface to be here.
Matthew Hall with the throw. Luke Bowden back in the lineup tonight after having a couple of nicks he was coming back from injury-wise. So good to see the left back out of Sheffield, England.
Yeah, I spoke to him on Tuesday. He told me he thought he'd only get 30 minutes, so I'm surprised to see him in the starting lineup. But you know, he must have done well during the week.
Yeah, his main backup, Patella Jean-Jacques, on Haitian international duty. Darwin Surin not in the lineup as well. He is been called up to the El Salvadorian national team. They're, of course, playing in that Central American Cup. So good experience for these young Lions, who are part of their respective national teams. We're in our second minute, no score. Again, Orlando took out Richmond a couple of weeks back, 3-2, in a game where Molino set the record with his 15th goal of the season. And then the two Benfica additions, Estrella and Rafael Ramos, who is not in the 18 tonight, each scored goals in that contest.
Yeah, Molino's been on fire obviously all season, you know, still breaking records, and tonight we'll be looking to get his 20th goal of the season.
19, that leads the league by 4 over Delicott, who has been inactive for about the last 5 or 6 games for the Kickers, and sure would like to get him back if you are Lee Calishaw. Kickers, one of the proud franchises here in the lower divisions of American soccer. USL 2 champs in 2006, 2009, both under Calishaw. They were established back in 1993, so they've been around a while. The USISL, remember those days? And on to the A-League from there. A model franchise for USL Pro. Escorted by Heath. Pass nearly picked off. Now Bowden will have it. Cuts it back to his right foot and surveys things. Harrison Heath getting the start tonight. Tommy Redding, the center back, pairing with Rob Valentino for Orlando. Two of the best teams in the league over the last couple of years. Matter of fact, David, Richmond, with a win tonight, would have the distinction of having a non-losing record against Orlando. They are 3-4-1 coming in. They've gotten 3 wins in the history in the first 3.5 seasons against these guys. So if there's one team in the league that's been able to have some success against the guys in purple, it's been Richmond. Yeah,
it's always been a close battle between these teams, and obviously Richmond won the regular season last year. So yeah, these two teams obviously always high up in the standings, and always battle well against each other.
Kickers defeated Orlando twice last year en route to that regular season championship, but fell short. Lost to Charlotte in the semifinals of the playoffs, opening the door for Orlando to host that epic championship match 1-7-4 against the Eagles. So Estrella got out to Mbenge, sent it to that far corner as Gentile was running nearby. Escorted by Yambi, the Cameroonian center back who's been around the league for quite a while, been in Richmond since 2009. And here's Ryan Taylor, the 24-year-old keeper, wearing the yellow. As has been the case all year, David, if Orlando City gets a goal early, it usually opens up, and that's been the case at home all season.
Yeah.
Now Molino. Send it across. That won't bother anybody. As Kobe Spann back in the lineup for Adrian Heath tonight, too, the low knee from FC Dallas.
And it's obviously a very familiar start for Orlando City. A lot of possession, a lot of territory, and Richmond will be looking to break that up.
Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. You can also find score updates. In fact, 5 games on the schedule tonight, as 4 teams vying for 2 playoff spots. 6 have been accounted for. 1 and 2, Orlando and Sacramento locked in. Richmond and LA Galaxy will make up 3 and 4 in one particular order. Not sure until after tonight. Charleston and Wilmington are in. So it's Rochester, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, and Charlotte, all still alive tonight. Nice to be Orlando. You're in the catbird seat. Don't have to worry. This game is just icing.
It is, but like I said at the start, they'll be looking to continue the momentum and especially keep their home record going, with potentially every home game or every playoff game being at home.
Arbalez lost it. Now Orlando City on the break, and it's pushed off to the left. So no goal for Molino. Again, looking for his 20th. Got the new hairdo tonight. I mentioned to him last week what happened to the yellow streaks. He had the blonde going, and that was working so well. He gets rid of them and then scores 3 goals against Dayton. So it's not about the fashion statement or how the coif is cut. Here's Kevin. Heath in that center circle. Surveys things in front. We'll spray it out wide to Brian Burke. Getting another start tonight. Finally back at full health. And the captain, Rob Valentino, there in the center. Our 7th minute. Orlando City really no sense of purpose quite yet. Just certainly taking their time. I think they respect Richmond for what they can do offensively.
They certainly do, and again, it's very typical of Orlando City. They're trying to get Heath and Estrella on the ball in the middle, and they're pushing Burke and Bowden up nice and high. So very familiar setup here from Orlando.
Molino out to Bowden. Can he get the touch? He cannot. Rolls a little too far out in front. Matthew Hall escorts him past the byline, and it will be a goal kick for the Kickers. Taylor with a 1.44 goals against average, playing now in his 10th game. He's made 18 saves and has to come on to a hard charging Gentile. As Kalashaw directs traffic. 43-year-old head coach. Here's Estrella. Right side, Burke loses the handle. He'll race back to the right back spot. He and Heath stand their ground and will wisely retreat as it comes back to Shinoski. Hugh Roberts, 6'4". You got 3 guys who are 6'4" or above there in the back line and defensive midfield. You don't want to try to win things in the air against those 3.
No, they'll certainly be winning a lot of aerial balls. Very impressed with Orlando City's pressing right now. Very high and doing it in numbers. It's not just one guy pressuring, it's 3 or 4.
Roberts tracked back to stop Molino's run. Valentino will look to keep possession. Sends it forward. Nice touch by Spann in those orange boots. Now on the right. Burke had thought about it. Will make the switch. Mbenge. See if Luke and Adama can get back on the same page, the pace that they were playing with earlier in the season, moving up and down that left flank. Spann sent it right back to Tommy Redding. Good to see these Lions getting healthy for the most part as the playoffs set to begin next week.
Yeah, it will give Coach Heath some difficult decisions to make, and as you can see here, Orlando moving the ball from side to side, keeping possession, trying to pull Richmond out of formation here.
Molino and Gentile will go all the way back to grab it. Now on that right wing. Ball sent in. Burke had a nice effort there. Shinoski pulled it down expertly and kicked it back to center. Turned by Spitz. Arbalez, now Spitz. Looking for Yeisley, who comes into the game with 3 goals and 3 assists. Had a goal against Orange County on that West Coast road trip.
Richmond just haven't been able to keep possession, and we've not seen much of our feature George Davis because of that. Richmond have got no ball, so he hasn't seen any of it.
You would think Adrian, because George was here for a spell in 2012, knows all about his abilities to score goals, going back to his first year in the league with Dayton. George Davis, the 4th, scored 7 with the Dutch Lions, who that year were not very good, and he made the All-USL Pro team in his first year. There's the race. Gentile, who's got a high work rate. It'll be a throw in for Richmond.
Ref wasn't sure there which way to give it. I think he was waiting for some player reactions to give him an inkling of which way.
Rubio Vasquez, our referee. Deep throw for Richmond upcoming. Matthew Hall, the native of Virginia Beach, Virginia, just a couple hours down I-64 from the state capital of Virginia. Heath sends it across. Patient attack for Orlando here. Nothing to lose tonight outside of a perfect record at home. And to make a statement that they are in fact the premier team in this league until they hoist another trophy. They look to the right side now. Burke crosses it through the 18-yard box and headed away at the last second. Well, Matthew Hall, a nice little dodgy move to get it out of trouble. Little dummy to the left side. Now George Davis holds it up. Send the diagonal ball and picked up nicely by Luke Bowden. Finally were able to break out by causing a turnover.
They did, yeah. Orlando City, they're exploiting Richmond's left down Orlando City's right, and that's Burke who's got in twice down there now and delivered 2 good crosses.
There's Davis. Spread out to the wide side, headed back to the keep. Carl Wazinski, who now has a couple of shutouts, 2 straight. Back-to-back variety for Orlando. So Adrian Heath knows he's got a great keeper in Miguel Gallardo, the normal starter, but he tends to go with the hot hand. Why do I change it? Boy, dangerous ball. It rolls to the goalie, Ryan Taylor.
Kevin Molino seeing a lot of the ball for Orlando. He's already had a couple of shots and he was almost in there as well.
Taylor makes the distribution out right. Shanaski and Arbalez working the right flank. Throw in for the Kickers.
As you can see, both teams like to get the ball down and play. You know, both keepers not really interested in sending the ball high upfield. They just want to get it down and play, which should bode for a good game.
All intercepted by Luke Bowden. Stepped right in front. Now Molino. One touch Gentile. Now Mbenge. Hall guards him. Here's the cross with that left foot inside the area, and Taylor falls on it.
Just. He nearly spilt it then.
Fans, visit the USL Pro page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Foul, and I don't think Rob Valentino thought he committed anything, at least with that reaction, but it is a foul nonetheless. Free kick, Richmond.
This is where they could be dangerous. You see Davis coming over here to take this, and you know, as you've mentioned, they've got a few 6'4" players, which will make them dangerous from set pieces. Davis, one of the best in the league at delivering free kicks. He and Molino, the former teammates. He can put a lot of bend on this. He's a guy to watch. One of the best in the business. Davis steps over from 28 out. Curls in, punched away by Wazinski, who read it all the way. It will be a throw in. That's confident goalkeeping. That'll give the defenders, you know, some belief in their goalkeeper that he'll come out and deal with crosses like that. So it's a good start. I think Wazinski, being 6'5", would be pretty dominant in the air in free kick situations. It's a big throw. Good throw it is inside the 18. Oh, dangerous turnover. Vercoloni. Turn is made. Shot on frame, and it's over the top by a few feet. So Arbalez gave it a go, and Vercoloni did the work to get the possession. Ruckus getting louder as we now enter our 17th minute, held up by Gentile. Bowden with some real estate.
Cuts it back to his right foot. Right side span, a shot off target.
He gives, yeah, a good tackle. Yeah, he got a last-minute tackle in there. I think we've got a corner.
So Molino was waiting in the wings. Corner kick, Orlando, is the captain, Rob Valentino. Some words and exchanging some pleasantries with our referee, Rubio Vasquez. First corner of the night for the Lions. Here's where it's going to be a bit tough with the 3-6-4 guys there in the back. Headed right back into the box. Ping pong, and it's still alive. Here's a shot, comes back down. And Estrella able to save it. Battle inside the 6 going up was Taylor and Valentino, I believe. He'll trot back. Nice effort. Couple of good chances for Orlando.
A couple of half chances there. When it bounces around in the box, you're always just trying to get a good touch on it.
Molino just denied at the line.
It was brave from Tommy Redding to put his head in there as well when there were boots going all over the place.
Ball kicked over the halfway line. Davis back to retrieve. He cannot. Throw in Orlando City. Switches made from Redding. Tommy now with his 15th game of the season for the 17-year-old. Acquitted himself well here in his first professional season.
I've been very impressed with him. Quite a cool head.
How about the move by Mbenge? He'll send it in. Retreat back in the 18. Estrella, he'll give it a go from distance. It's off target. Estrella had a goal against Richmond to start things off in that win on the 23rd up in the capital of Virginia.
That was a good look from the edge of the box. You know, wants to be hitting the target there, though, to give the keeper something to do. And that's been, I guess, the one thing that's missing right now from Orlando. They've some good pressure, had a few shots, but none really on target.
Bowden, the battle in the air. And Spitz. These two teams will knock it around a bit. Vercoloni. Hall. Battle of the last two, I think that the last 4 regular season champions in this league. Richmond won it last year, Orlando this year, and Orlando the 2 years prior in 11 and 12. So cream of the crop when it comes to USL Pro here tonight. Nice shot by Redding to fill the space. Yami will play it back to his keeper. Shanoski, the DC United man, also a native of Virginia. Central defenders had 8 appearances with the US U20 national team. He's now 22, still considered in that setup at times. Loaned to Richmond some last year as well. He'll take the ball. No score over after 20 minutes of play here. Jeff Radcliffe, David Dyke. Our ESPN crew bringing you all the pictures. Final regular season game which for both of these teams. Flick on inside the box. Redding will recover. Is this patience with a purpose, David?
It is, yeah. Just these 5-yard passes, you can see it shifts the whole team. So, you know, even though they're just going from side to side, you know, the players have to track, the Richmond players have to track the Orlando players across. So as much as it might not be having an effect right now, as the game goes on, it's a lot harder without the ball.
Redding looking for Mbenge. Now the The counter is on for the red-clad Kickers. Here's Vercoloni. Will slow things up, get out left to Stephen Basso. It's also part of the DC United youth setup. Fans may remember Basso. He played for Harrisburg 2011 to 2013. Played against the Lions in that famous championship game back in 2011. The left back for Richmond now. They spread out left. Bowden again cuts it back to his right. They haven't learned. A redirect shot and a goal. Orlando City. Take a look to see who at last touched. Was it Gentile or was it Molino?
I think it was Molino. I think wonderful cross by Luke Bowden and on his right foot.
If it was Kevin, that's his 20th goal of the season. We'll take another look. It was on a header. Kevin Molino has scored a score. 20 goals in the 2014 season. Congratulations to
Wonderful
Kevin
header
Molino.
as well. As you see there, he was almost facing the wrong way. He had to reach round to get it and then just guided it into the far corner. And there he is showing his shirt.
The shirt of Yordani Alvarez. Gio, as he's more apt to be known by, retired officially on the 29th of August after an undisclosed medical condition. He'll be honored at halftime. Saw him earlier this season. He was a signee for MLS, played a couple of years after his magical year in 2011 in which he was the league MVP. Parlayed that into some two really good years at Real Salt Lake and was excited to bring the Lions into MLS, and unfortunately medical condition forces his retirement. He'll be honored at halftime, and you saw his friend Kevin Molino hold his jersey up there. That said, 1-0 Orlando. Molino's 20th goal of the year. And a corner kick for Richmond, it appears.
Surprisingly good cross by Luke Bowden. You know, normally you would say defending there, or don't let him cross with his left foot, make him go on his right, which the defender did, but Luke still served a great ball in with his right foot.
It'll be Bowden's 5th assist. Comes the corner kick from Davis, the 4th. There's a redirect right on frame, but right at Wazinski. So good chance for Richmond there. An unmarked free header. Wazinski saw it the whole way. Our 25th minute, 1-0 Orlando City. They've got the lead.
And as we said, Richmond will be dangerous from set pieces, and with Davis's delivery and the big guys coming up from the back. I think it's Yombi had the header there, and he should expect to do better in that position.
A little bit more direct now. Basso and left. Wow, Redding standing his ground. And Spitz, who takes it into the corner, sends it right back. Richmond chasing a 1-0 game. Roberts. See the pressing beginning to happen. Trying to force the issue, getting things in that attacking third. And Richmond, a 21-game unbeaten streak. It was snapped by Orlando a few weeks back and then hit the road and came up with a pair of 1-1 draws. So they have not won a game, Richmond, since the 16th. Make that the 9th of August against Charlotte, a 2-1 victory. So since that win, it was tie, loss, tie, tie.
And you know, Coach Collishaw will be wanting them to get more of the ball. They've not seen much of the ball so far.
Burke, he'll send it in. Defense was right there for it. Battle along the halfway line. Richmond coming up. 3 purple jerseys close in and take possession. Estrella. A tough ball there. It was read all the way by Vercoloni. He'll start the break on the other side. Davis, heavy touch, comes back to Bowden. And Benge forced the issue. In transition now, Gentile. Take it back to center. Luke running at the defender. And Molino down. No call by the referee. Play on. Davis the fourth. As Bowden gives chase. Send it into the corner. Valentino right there. Right side, it's Brian Burke. You think Orlando changes how they play now that they've got the lead?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No, they'll keep possession. And I'm sure Coach Heath has noticed here that Brian Burke is getting in every time. You know, they seem to have, although the goal came from Luke Bowden's side, there seems to be enough pressure out there. But certainly Brian Burke is getting in down the right-hand side. And that comes from switching it from side to side and opening the defense up.
Fans, make sure to follow @USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. Of course, Twitter will be abuzz tonight with who's in and who's out of the USL Pro playoffs, which begin next week, the 13th of September.
And here we go. See the high press here. 3 players pushing up nice and high, stopping Richmond playing out the back, and you know they've done well here to keep possession.
Roberts out left to Basso. Roberts again started up the last couple of games for Richmond at center back. Now he's the defensive mid, the stopper, that kind of a setup. And intercepted. Estrella read it the whole way. Orlando City retakes possession. The 1-0 lead coming up on a half hour gone by. And Benge racing Hall. Hall will just wisely send it out. Matthew Hall just signed last month along with Stephen Basso by Lee Cowlishaw. They make up the outside backs tonight. Matthew the last 2 years with the LA Blues. Quick turn Molino. He's already got 1 goal. He'll lay it off to Span. Looking for the diagonal ball. The run was being made by Mbenge, and now there's the turnover, and Gentile will commit the foul along the technical area. Clean foul, and don't do that again, says Rubio Vasquez.
That's good work rate.
You get one free one.
Yeah, it's good work rate from your centre forward though. There, you know, your left back gets caught out of position and he chases back, and you know, he makes the foul, but you know it slows the game down for Orlando.
Hall sends it high into the night. Looking for Spitz. Estrella. Lama and Benge. So you hear Adrian Heath yelling from all the way back here. And front. Stays alive. Taken into the corner. Here comes a corner kick. That one falls right to Taylor slowly. Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. You can follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. 1-0 Orlando City, our score here in the season finale. Lions hoping to play 3 more here at this venue at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. They're home here in 2014. They'll be back to the Citrus Bowl for MLS Year 1 next season. And the new downtown park will open, which we're all looking forward to.
And surprise, surprise, if you're just joining us, it was Kevin Molino that scored.
His 20th. Seems like I say it every game to remind people he had 6 goals the entire first 3 seasons as a Lion. 20 this year. And Adrian has told me countless times in training throughout the year, he knew he had it in him. It was only a matter of time the game has just slowed down for him.
Yeah, he's found his feet at Orlando, and he's taking more responsibility, and we can see that by he's getting the ball in more prominent areas and scoring the goals, taking his chances.
If you're Orlando, you've got the 1-0 lead. It would be wise to build on it here. Richmond, known as a second-half team, they tend to wear you down with the big bodies, so you want to get a couple of goal cushion here just in case. Benge looks around, surveys things. Molino, Gentile, nice job winning it. Comes back to the middle of the park, and Shea Spitz, graduate of Cal State Fullerton, native of New Zealand. So a Kiwi there in the central midfield for Richmond. There, Coloni. Roberts. Defense has all the angles covered. The only places to go back is to Yambi.
As you can see, very similar to Orlando. All players comfortable on the ball. Like you mentioned, Roberts has stepped out as a centre-half and is playing in centre-mid, and he's very comfortable on the ball. You wouldn't normally associate that with a centre-back, and certainly a centre-back at 6'4", that he's so good on the ball.
Let's see, Shinaski all the way up on the attacking half as well. Calling for it on the right side is Arbalez. Able to get it to him. Now the overlap being made by Hall. Gets there late, but he's there. And he'll send it out for a throw. Soundtrack being provided by the Ruckus tonight behind the goal. It's going to be tough for Ryan Taylor in that second half, playing in front of that crowd.
They all seem to be enjoying themselves back there, as you would at 1-0 up and champions. So,
knowing you have a couple more games out here. Big long throw, a Rory Delap style throw into the box. Now Vercoloni, a nice effort. Stays back inside and falls to a Richmond player in the 18, and now back out. Estrella with the win. Oh, and a foul committed going down was Arbalez. And Inchie has something to say. Arbalez is in fact the player down, the Colombian, who played his college soccer at VCU right there in Richmond, Virginia Commonwealth. Was drafted by the Montreal Impact back in 2013. Did not sign. Good news is here he's up. After all that, it'll be a Bowden throw in for Orlando. About 10 minutes from halftime. Very patient. They know how dangerous these kickers are. Running through the middle, and Benge. Not a lot of pace. Couldn't keep it on his feet. Turnover, and the decision goes the way of the kickers as Davis hit the deck.
You can see even without the ball, in Benge, Molino and Span working hard to get it back, which is not giving Richmond time to settle.
Coloni, one of the distributor caps for that Richmond attack. He's been in Richmond since 2008. Former MLS draftee. 5 appearances with the New England Revolution back in the day. Solid player for years. A little back heel. Probably not necessary. Spitz couldn't quite get there. Now running ahead, and Benge, and coming way off his line was Taylor to kick it into the stands.
Very well read by the goalkeeper there. If he didn't come out, he was, Molino was in with a chance on goal.
Molino just so fast. Another head, looking for a second heading goal, but the defense was there. It'll be a corner kick for Orlando City.
He's had to come a long way out there, probably 10 yards outside of his box. If he doesn't do that,
sure,
Molino's in.
If you're Taylor, that's the last thing you want to see, is having a streaking Kevin Molino coming right at you with the ball in between you. Harrison Heath will do the honors from that left side. Kicks it with the right foot. It is through the box and out, and a goal kick. Well, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game this season is streamed live on YouTube. Features have included DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. You can subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Hope to bring you 3 more games after this one. The Lions will remain at home provided they continue to win. Same thing Richmond hoped for last year in winning the league and got upset in the semifinals. So there's a word of caution out there, a cautionary tale by their opponents tonight.
As we heard from Coach Heath on his little piece, it's very important that they're at home because they have such a strong record, not lost at all this season at home, and they'd hope to keep that going throughout the playoffs.
12-0-1, and that tie came in the opener. It's Charleston. Win-win-win since. USL Pro wins record is 18. The Lions currently stand at 18-4-5. So a win tonight will break that record. Doesn't matter if it's the Citrus Bowl or here at ESPN Wide World of Sports. David, Orlando City's always been lights out at home. In fact, just 3 regular season losses here in Orlando.
Yeah, they've settled very well into.
Oh, great diagonal ball that warded off was Gentile. Like that span as the one creating the havoc. Given away there in their own half, and a free kick awarded to the Richmond Kickers. Shea Spitz explaining things. Let's see, David, if Wazinski's tested here. This is quite a bit of distance, quite far out.
Yeah, it looks like Spitz is going to take this with his left foot, so he's going to be curling it in. Oh, he's played it wide instead.
Let's see if something comes of this. Sent across, goal kick, Orlando. George Davis perhaps complaining that it was last touched by an Orlando City player. Throw in Lions. 5 minutes from halftime. 1-0 on a Molino headed goal. His 20th of the season. That came back in the 22nd minute. Benge takes a pass from Valentino. Defense closes in. You hear Adrian Heath barking out the instructions. Very unintelligible. With our earphones, of course. What do you think he's yelling?
I think he wants to see Estrella and Heath get on the ball more. It looks like Molino and Mbenge are coming too deep to get it, and it's kind of isolating Heath and Estrella. That's my viewing of it anyway. With his Northern English accent, I can't understand him. So
Mbenge guarded by Hall. They get it out to Estrella, and a whistle and a foul. Benge took a knock. See Ian Fuller, the assistant, incredulous.
And if it wasn't Coach Heath barking, it'd be Ian Fuller for sure. So one of them would always be barking.
This is the regular season finale for each team. Make sure you join us next Saturday, the 13th of September, first round playoff game for the Lions here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Gentile runs on and will send it into the crowd. Decent effort. Still left to be decided who the Lions' opponent will be. It will be the 8th seed. Right now Harrisburg sits in that spot, but it could be Rochester, could be Pittsburgh. We'll know a little bit more tonight. Of course, there is a game tomorrow to close out the entire schedule. Wilmington at Rochester. It's tomorrow afternoon. Being played right now, Harrisburg is at Charlotte, Arizona at Pittsburgh. Those games a little ahead of this one. They started at 7 o'clock. Later tonight, 2 games out west, Oklahoma City at Orange County and LA Galaxy 2 at Sacramento. That game in Orange County really doesn't mean much. Nobody's alive for the playoffs in that one. If you're Richmond, you're certainly paying attention to Sacramento LA Galaxy. It's the difference between finishing 3rd and 4th in the league.
And as we mentioned at the top, that's pretty important because if both teams win their next playoff game, they'll be back here in 2 weeks in the playoffs.
Molino will hold it up and gets fouled from behind by Shinosky. Play on. Staying composed. He'll run out to the left side. And be a throw in for Orlando. Think about it though, if you are Richmond, would you rather come back here to play Orlando in the second round, or would you rather go out to the West Coast? You'd most likely have to play LA Galaxy or Sacramento. 2 tough places to play, and you have the long trip.
Yeah, it's probably
pick your poison.
Yeah, a lose-lose situation.
Spitz sprays it out to Davis as Richmond looks to break out right before halftime. Valentino stays composed. Quick triangle passing successful. Estrella back to Valentino, and now the switch is made to Burke all by himself on the right. Span. Molino trying to make a nifty move at the top of the 18. They still have it. Mbenge tried to poke it through, did not happen. Physical play there at the center of the park. Estrella whistled for the foul. An infraction. Estrella from Angola. It's part of the U19s of Benfica before coming over with Rafael Ramos on a 3.5-year contract. The half year for the USL Pro remaining, and the next 3 at the MLS level.
The referee has added a minimum of 1 minute stoppage time.
And they made a big impact in their first game, both scoring on their debuts
against these Richmond kickers. Now Ramos not active tonight, not in the 18. So we've learned there will be 1 minute of added time. Heard the voice of PA announcer Dave Ziemba. So about a half minute remains in this first half. Orlando City 1, Richmond Kickers 0. Richmond keeping their shape nicely even after that first goal. Gentile can't reach it. The demonstrative one, Adrian Heath. Nice turn. It's made by Vercoloni. See if Richmond can get one more foray into the attacking third here. That won't get it done. because the whistle is blown. We're at the half, and the Lions lead it 1-0 on a steamy night here at Disney. So Kevin Molino, a goal in the 22nd, has stood up so far. Another half to play here in the season finale at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Let's take a look at the halftime stats. David, the shots pretty well in favor of the home side from Orlando.
Yeah, and the one shot for Richmond was that header from the corner. And as we said at the start, a few shots were off target for Orlando, and then as soon as they found the target, that's when Molino scored the goal. But yeah, the stats pretty much show how the game's been a dominant first half for Orlando.
1-0. They'd like to get a few more. We'll come back with that second half in about 12 minutes. You're watching Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer here on YouTube. We're back at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex. Lake Buena Vista, Orlando City leads Richmond 1-0 here in the final game of the USL Pro regular season for each club. I'm Jeff Radcliffe alongside David Dyke, the man more known by Smiler to those listening on the United World Soccer Show and over at XL Indoor Soccer World, XL Soccer. So what are your impressions of the first half?
I was very impressed by Orlando, especially their high pressing. They broke the Richmond up in the Orlando's offensive area, and like you said, Richmond are a better second half team, so I'm expecting more from them in the second half. They didn't really get much possession, so look to see them try and get more of the ball, get Davis on the ball more, and hopefully for them create some more chances.
Richmond entering the game in third position in the USL Pro table. They would like to stay there. Game later tonight that could affect that, but they can somehow manage a point here that would go a long way into securing, in fact, that would secure them the third spot. Orlando, well, they're going to hoist that Commissioner's Cup a little later tonight after the game, as the USL Pro brass are here, but want to do it in style. You don't want to do that after you've taken a defeat or even a tie. You want to win it in style and go unbeaten here at home.
They certainly do, and their 12-0-1 record, they want to keep that alive. They want to win this game, take the momentum going into the playoffs, because as we've said, they should be playing all 3 games up to the final, and including the final here at Disney.
Rubio Vasquez whistles the start of half number 2. Orlando City in purple moving left to right. They lead 1-0. In case you missed it, Kevin Molino, league leading 20th goal of the season. He continues to build on that record. See what adjustments each team makes here in the second half. Neither brought on any subs, although we will sure to see that a little later on. Again, 5 subs per team allowed in USL Pro. Orlando has the full complement, as Richmond has 5 plus the keeper available. See Redding whip it across. And if you're Ryan Taylor now, the goalkeeper for the Kickers, it's going to get that much more difficult because now you're playing in front of the supporter section.
I certainly expect to see Anthony Pulis coming. He's just coming back from injury, so I'm sure Coach Heath will want to get him some minutes. I would imagine around 60-65 minutes we might start to see some changes.
Hopefully, if you're the Lions, you've increased the lead to make it a little bit more comfortable at that point. Again, the result changes nothing as far as the standings go for Orlando. They've already clinched, did so with a 0-0 result at Wilmington on Thursday. Matter of fact, last week at Dayton, they clinched a share of first place against in that 7-0 win over Dayton here at home. And they just made it official Thursday. They needed a single point out of the last 2 games. And that's if Richmond and Sacramento didn't drop anything. No apparent change to the shape for the Kickers here. If you're Richmond, no matter what happens here, you go home and you play your first playoff game there at City Stadium next week. Here's Brian Burke. Yambi heads it into the air, will just carry it back to his keeper, and Taylor kicks it away. Each team clamors for the throw. Richmond gets the decision.
Not sure Coach Heath agreed with that.
Shea Spitz leaves it for George Davis IV. And it's stolen away by Kevin Molino. Faircoloni able to recover. Use that space to the wide side. Matthew Hall. In direct fashion, looking for Yaisley, who we've barely talked about the entire game. Hasn't had much opportunity to get the ball. If he's going to get the ball, he's going to have to come back and get it, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say he's hardly touched the ball up front. And again, that's down to Orlando having such high pressure up the field, not allowing the Richmond midfielders to get the ball up to him.
Span. Play it to Gentile. He and Yabi come together. Flag was up. And Juicy, a little hot. Let's just say he disagreed.
Yeah, it looked like both players were going at it there, and Gentile just came out on top. So I'm not sure it was a foul myself, but...
Stephen Basso, 27-year-old left back. Stephen, an interesting story. Born in Costa Rica, but he's moved all around the world. Grew up in Germany, where his father worked for the U.S. State Department.
Coach Heath getting a bit of a ticking off there from the referee.
No.
I think he must have said something to the fourth official, who then told the centre ref, and then the centre ref came over and told him off. So.
And Bengay, Molino, nice defending at the last second. Estrella corrals it. There's the flick to Burke. Span. Molino to Gentile. Heath will give chase. Estrella makes the turn. Now Mbenge back on that left side with Luke Bowden. I'll make the run into the corner. Now Luke will take the space. And it got away from Kevin. And Burke keeps it in the attacking half. How frustrating is this? If you're Lee Kalishaw, you can't get the ball back.
Can't get it back, and when they do, they can't keep it. Very frustrating for Richmond right now, because they normally have a lot of possession of the ball when they play teams, so they're used to having the ball.
Sadam Mbenge shoots, and it's into the side netting, and you hear the groans of the crowd. They thought that was in. Score, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Keep tabs on the 5 contests being played tonight. 3 of them as we speak, 2 later on. Boy, the defense caught unaware for Richmond there as the ball was in the air. Gentile was going full steam ahead. And Yabi come together. Exchange phone numbers. Vasquez says, okay, enough of that.
Yeah, he's just told him that he's made 2 fouls. I didn't think either were a foul, so yeah, it's a bit harsh on him, but...
That said, he's got to back off now.
Yeah, he's been given his last warning.
Percoloni, he goes down rather easily, and offside. No foul, but an offside flag went up. And Adrian wants an explanation.
I think the linesman has given the free kick there. I don't think it was offside. I think the referee played on, and the linesman gave the free kick. And believe it or not, Ian Fuller was the peacemaker.
Sprays wide of Wasinski. Carl hasn't had to do much work tonight. Stands now looking for a 3rd straight clean sheet, thanks to the defense in front of him as well, and the possession of that midfield. Wasinski's goal against average in the 3 games he's played so far, .33. That will get it done. Heath out wide to Brian Burke. Centers in. Molino had it. Now Mbenge. Strela back to Adama. Start from the left. Hard charging defender was there, and that will be turned over. Rush for Richmond. 53rd minute. Trail 1-0 still. Looking to generate something here in the second half. Span retreats. George Davis the 4th. And his 11 goals on the field. He's the kicker's leading scorer. Matthew Delicott has been out. He has got 14. It's a little run made by Basso. And pegged forward.
Some nice possession there from Richmond, higher up in the field in Orlando's defensive area, when they were able to get a decent cross in there.
Molino out to Kobe Spann. Little give and go. Now Kobe. Top of the 18. Gentile will cut to his right. Wait for reinforcements. Back heel. Kobe Spann. Yambi gives chase for Richmond. Juice got loose for a second.
Yeah, he probably should have had a shot there. He didn't have many other options. He decided to keep possession, but I think he should have taken a shot there.
And Bengay to Bowden, runs in the 18. Shot in front, and it goes right through the 18-yard box. Looked like Molino had a shot at it.
I can say this because I know he's not listening. Luke Bowden potentially got a nosebleed there. He was so high up the field.
That's good.
But it was a great cross. Nearly got a touch on. I think it was Molino again who nearly got a touch on it from the cross.
Luke, 2 goals, 4 assists on his 8 points this year. One will be played safe by Valentino. And corner kick, it appears, for the Richmond Kickers. Here's Luke. The nosebleed center.
Oh no, it was
Gentile took it. Yeah, redirected it. So Gentile and Molino in that last game against Dayton, a 7-0 win, were magic together. Running off of each other. 4 goals between the two. Here's the corner. Back outside the box. Richmond will look to hold in, making the turn. Yambi still way up front. Now he'll have to retreat defensively. Molino surveys things. How about the diagonal ball? Looking for Gentile. Runs into the 18. Giuseppe Gentile is stoned by Taylor. Give credit to Ryan Taylor for coming off his line and standing him up.
Great save from the keeper. That's one of those unfortunate one-on-ones where he's got so much time. He's like, oh, where do I go? Right, left, and he ends up hitting it straight at the keeper. If that just falls to him naturally, he just hits it first time. He had 10, 15 yards to run there, and he's like, I could go right, I could go left, I could chip it over him. In the end, he did neither really and just hit it straight at the keeper.
Our 57th. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's easy to say you can score when you got that kind of real estate in the front, but then you start thinking, should I chip him? Should I go right? Should I go right? Should I go underneath? And then at that point, you got to let it fly.
Almost had too much time to think.
Exactly. Sometimes you just want to react. Spann head to Burke, and Burke earns a corner kick for Orlando City here in our 57th. Basso sent it out. First substitution of the night. Nate Robinson, 5'9" midfielder, going to check in for Juan Arbalez. While we wait for the substitution, we'll remind you to visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. So Arbalez first to check out. The Colombian will be replaced by Robinson, native of Novi, Michigan, 23 years old. Has a goal this season on 6 shots. Headed high into the air. It stays into the 18-yard area. They're calling for a handball. They don't get it. Here comes Richmond on the break. On the race, I believe Robinson right off the start. He'll play it through. This is Robinson trying to catch up, but the defense was wise and was just a bit faster for Orlando. So a dangerous moment there. You wait for one referee's decision, and things can get bad in a hurry.
Yeah, it looked like it hit his hand. I'm not sure it was deliberate, so I think that's probably why the referee didn't give it.
Bengay in front, looking for Giuseppe Gentile. lot of space. They play it through to Wisely. Wisely holds it up as the reinforcements come. Now outright. Appears to be Davis. It is. Hall and Roberts. Vercoloni. Basso trying to play the quick touch to Nate Robinson on that left flank. No fuss, no muss. Try the right. So Davis, who we've seen on the left most of the night, now on the right as Arbalez exited the game. Robinson now on that left mid. How about the control there by George Davis IV? We talked about it in the open. He's got a lot of skill.
Yeah, again, he was just looking for a yard or so to get a shot off. In the end, he settled for the cross, and it's gone out for a throw. Davis
had one of the 2 goals against Orlando back on the 23rd of August in that 3-2 loss. And sub will come in for Orlando City. Corey Herzog will check in. He's missed the last couple of games with an injury. And Brad Russin will spell Rob Valentino, captain. Will take a seat. It's a big hand from the crowd. He is done for the regular season. Make sure you follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. You'll see right now that an hour played, Orlando leads 1-0. Herzog coming on. So the first 2 substitutions for Adrian Heath.
Yeah, you know, Herzog will replace Gentile up top. He'll, you know, same work rate. He'll hassle and, you know, go at the players there. Unfortunate for Gentile, he didn't get that last chance and put it in the back of the net.
Certainly worked hard. Vercoloni chasing as Mbenge catches it. Sends it across the halfway line and across the diagonal side of the field, and Ryan Taylor there. I think you always have to watch when these substitutions start coming in, Smiler, is sometimes the shape changes and the cohesion that has been built up throughout the first 60 minutes sometimes gets lost.
It does. I don't think there's been any formation change here, but certainly, you know, there's been a few changes in personnel, who goes where. Like you mentioned, Davis has gone to the other side. Mbenge and Span have switched sides right now for Orlando. But it looks like Brad Rusin has just gone straight into Valentino's position and Herzog straight into Gentile's position.
Taylor will let it fly. 50-50 as Russin got his first touch with the head.
And Luke Bowden's taken the captaincy after Valentino's gone off.
Armband on his right arm. Will play it through. Bowden, can he get something on it? Not quite. Hugh Roberts there to contest it. Estrella. Oh, how about the flick on with that heel by Mbenge. It's actually a Molino. And a player down for Richmond. And it appears to be Matthew Hall, the right back, and he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit uncomfortable there. He might not be able to stay on.
Adrian Heath made a name for himself in the English Premier League from the late 70s to late 80s. Stoke City and Everton. Scored close to 100 goals. He now trying to do another masterful coaching job, as the Lions have won some semblance of hardware in each of the team's 4 seasons in USL. This is the 4th and final. Appears like we have a unintended water break right now.
think they're just trying to decide whether Hall is going to be able to continue or not. Certainly looks like he's going to come on from over on that far side, so he might be trying to run it off.
So Lee Kalishaw there. We talked earlier, they're from about an hour away, hometown-wise, Adrian and Lee.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's Burton-on-Trent and Stoke, not too far away in sort of the North Midlands.
Oh, giveaway in the box by Yambi. Raced back to defend and didn't get the best touch on it, but Richmond survives. Davis trying to get out of trouble and throw in Orlando City to Davis's chagrin. A lot of respect between those two coaches, for sure.
Yeah,
both speak highly of one another.
Yeah, and they know each other from their playing days. So, and obviously both making a career over here in the USL Pro, and Adrian moving into the MLS.
Lee is a player for Richmond from '93 to '98. Had his number 13 jersey retired. Still 6 in goals all time in franchise history. Some good players have come through Richmond. Mike Burke, Rob Ukrop. A team with a lot of history. And there's a shot that was saved off to that right side. Spann gave it a go, and Taylor parried it away. It'll be a corner kick for Orlando.
Yeah, Spann helps us out with his orange boots, lets him be easily identifiable.
Thank you. I think each player needs to have their own color.
A good save by Taylor. He's had a good game, to be fair to him. I know he conceded the 1 goal, but he stopped all the other shots at him.
Keeping Richmond in this one. They would like nothing more than to spoil the party for USL Pro rivals here in this, their final regular season home game of the 2014 season, as the Lions look to remain perfect, or at least unbeaten. I guess a draw wouldn't be perfect in Adrian Heath's eyes. And Rubio Vasquez having words with Spann and Shinosky, 2 MLS players. Spann with FC Dallas, Shinosky with DC United. Heath said fly into the box. The touch was made by Taylor, and it'll be out for a goal kick.
Great delivery there from Heath. You know, put everybody under pressure, the keeper and the defense.
Richmond 3-4-1 all time against the Lions. In fact, Orlando's first ever game in USL Pro was a loss to Richmond on the road at City Stadium. So they're ending their regular season run just like they started it, against this very same team. Dangerous ball. Ping pong it goes. Spann. He'll send the cross in, knocked right back down. We'll make the move to the byline now, far post, and it outshoots everybody. Nate Robinson will retrieve. And won by Orlando City. Adama playing the 1-2 with Bowden. Herzog, of course, putting in his 100% work rate. It's going to be tough for Roberts and Yambi. Shinosky. Burke. Well, the 1 touch by Molino. Shinosky just had to tug the jersey to slow him down.
Looks like he stepped into the defensive midfield role, and Roberts has dropped back to centre back.
Oh, it comes. Herzog goes down in the box. Appeals for a foul. No way, Jose, says Rubio Vasquez.
Looked like there was contact, but Corey Herzog went down very easily. And these days, if you do that, the referee seems to be unlikely to give it. You just got to, I know it sounds silly, but you just got to try and go down naturally rather than theatrical.
Some say that you want to sell it. Not in the situation. We take another look. Is it a legit foul?
Orlando City substitution.
Yeah, there's definitely contact there, and you can see the contact. It's just a little theatrical, which I think that what is the reason the ref doesn't give it.
Another sub for Orlando City, third of the night. Anthony Pulis will check in for Harrison Heath. So number 12's night is done, and Englishman for Englishman. Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information.
I think we'll see Pulis trying to get on the ball a lot. Heath was trying to do it, but I think Pulis will have a more demanding effect, take control of the ball and spray it from side to side and keep control of this game and not let Richmond back in.
Of course, Pulis, 11 years the senior of Heath. A few more games played. Is out with a bad quad muscle in the last couple of months. It's good to see Ant back in right before the playoffs. Guy really commands that midfield, a real vocal.
Yeah, this is an important 20 minutes for him. You know, it's obviously his first game back. You know, he wants to make sure he's over the injury and get ready for the playoffs.
Pulis has been dodging injuries on and off the last couple of seasons. He's had his playing time cut short at times.
And, you know, it makes a difference when there's a 29-year-old in there versus two 18-year-olds. You know, you can be a little bit more demanding, a little bit more commanding, get the ball off people.
Benge being released. Escorted by Yambi all the way back to his 24-year-old keeper Ryan Taylor. Trying to keep the kickers within striking distance here as we now have about 20 minutes and change to play. George Davis, the fourth. Things becoming a little bit more urgent for the visitors from Richmond. Robinson, nice move. Backs in on Bowden. Bowden takes it away. Fulham once but not twice. Molino makes the turn. Now Span. Get full stride, push it forward. Oh, and the flag was up on Herzog, who appeared to get to that ball fair and square.
And again, another decision given by the linesman. I'm sure he's going to get an earful when he makes his way up to the halfway line.
Pushes off Yambi.
I don't see a lot wrong with it. It's shoulder to shoulder. He's not pushed him with his arm. He's not shouldered him in the back. It happened he missed the chance afterwards anyway, but again, yeah, another soft free kick given by the linesman.
It's the flick. Russin sends it high into the night. Comes to Molino. Now Herzog. Drill it off the defender. It's back to Shinosky. Now Yambi parries it forward, and they're taken away by Brian Burke. Lazy pass. Cost a chance for Orlando as Molino is looking for 21. How perfect would that be?
Again,
be the 21st MLS team. You get go in with 21 goals from your leading scorer.
Again, but loads of room down the right-hand side. Oh. Another good cross. Difficult angle there for Molino. He's tried to flick it and probably got too much contact on it.
And a chance of the crowd.
Again, impressive vocal noise from the supporters, as it is at every home game.
Span to Herzog. Now Molino collects it with his right foot. He'll earn a corner kick for the Lions. Orlando City looking to turn up the wick here to close this out, secure the 3 points, and go into the playoffs on a high note.
Yeah, they've just got to keep this going here. Richmond seem a little bit flat. I know we said they're a second half team. We've not really seen that so far. Orlando still in control. But like 1-0, one slip, one chance, one breakaway, and you know, Richmond are back in the game, so they need to try and close this out here.
Benge with the left foot drills it. Driven ball stays inside the 18, now comes all the way back out. Burke will receive the pass here. He and Pulis working tightly together. Estrella. Bods right off of Hall. Estrella now inside. Robinson takes it away. Pulis will catch it up, switch it off. Redding will take the space. And the diagonal ball is a good one. Brian Burke, there's the cross going way to the other side of the far post. Lions retain possession. About 15 minutes to play. Back heels. They look for Molino. Catches up. And now we've got a whistle, and it will be a free kick awarded to Richmond.
One of those silly rules that he was playing on the ground. And they say it's dangerous. It's not actually a rule, believe it or not. It's not actually in the rule book. It's one of those rules that seems to have crept into the American game.
Richmond still searching for an equalizing goal. We've had a little bit better possession here in our second half. Flick on attempt. Not there. Shea Spitz was in the vicinity. Well, he and Yeisley have not really done too much. Now intercepted by Yambi. Read that pass all the way. Here comes the counter.
It's time to vote for your man of the match. Use the official OC Game Day app to vote now.
We'll come back to Orlando City. Fans, it is time to vote on your man of the match. Use the OC Game Day app and make sure you vote on the Orlando City man of the match. Subs from each side checking in at this opportunity. As out comes Brian Burke, and Justin Clark will replace him. And for Richmond, Alex Lee, normally a right back. We'll see where he goes and who he's coming off for. So Davis, George Davis, the fourth, will take a seat. He's worked hard tonight. Will not get a goal against Orlando City in this game.
I'd say that's probably a decision with the playoffs in mind. You know, give him 15 minutes rest, ready for the first round game in the playoffs.
Alex Lee, just 5'10", 160, but punches above his weight. One of the fiery guys. 24-year-old, played college ball at Maryland, drafted by FC Dallas, and was at Richmond last year. Goal and 3 assists.
It looks like he's dropped into the right back spot, and Matt Hall is going to play in front of him.
Lee can be one of those fiery individuals too. Certainly one of those guys you like on your team, but you don't like to play against him. Plays with a flair. Play the diagonal ball and escorted all the way back to Taylor. Tommy Redding, center back, up in an offensive area now. He'll retreat as Pulis will send it left. And Benge takes a hit. No call. Got to get back on D quickly though. Shea Spitz. Robinson retreats, gathers it in.
Fairness to the referee, he's let the game flow quite a lot. It's just really this linesman down on this side that's given a few free kicks, but the referee seems to have let it flow quite well.
Connor Shinoski send it to that wide side. Alex Lee, who just checked in, trying to make a difference, and he earns a corner kick. Richmond with about 12 minutes to do something. Again, they've had some late goals this season. A lot of them have turned defeats into draws. As it's sent away by Spitz. Bouncing ball, a flick on header, a shot. And Wazinski was there. Sent right back in. Wazinski makes the save. So the heartbeat has to go up a little bit to Carl for the first time tonight.
Yeah, second one looked more comfortable. The first one looked like a great save. So here, this was the second one. It's a good shot from Yombi at the back there and a comfortable save. I think it was the first one that was the tougher save and keeping the clean sheet alive.
And Wazinski looking for his third straight. That one gets by Robinson. Span. His effort was taken away. Estrella. Held up by Molino, makes the turn. We'll go out for a throw-in. Expect to see the kickers start putting numbers forward here to get a result. They lead the league in draws. Had 13 wins, 2 losses, 12 draws. One of the reasons they're in third and not first. Second highest scoring team in the league behind Orlando. Now just 3 goals behind. Orlando now 56 goals for. Richmond 53.
So yeah, you'd certainly expect some more attacking flair in the final 10 minutes. You know, they've had probably, I think, 3 shots on target now. So they'll look to at least double that, I would have thought, in these last 10 or 12 minutes. They've obviously got to get the ball to do that. And Orlando's still keeping a lot of the possession.
That ball was searching inside the area. And Richmond gets awarded the ball once again, and Adrian's starting to sweat out of the shirt too. It's never easy against Richmond. It doesn't happen that way. There's no such thing as an easy game against these guys.
No, and his frustration with the referee is now turned into him just smirking now. Rather than shouting at him, he's just smirking at him.
Lee. Hall. Orlando possession here on the throw-in.
I've been impressed with Luke Bowden on his return. Been out for injury for a while, and he's come back and slotted right back in that left-back spot, which is a good, a bonus for Orlando City going into the playoffs.
Clark. Lions will certainly take their time with possession and make Richmond chase. Estrella and Pulis. Now Redding all the way along the right side. Dribble in. About the footwork there by the center back, the 17-year-old Tommy Redding. Now Herzog into the 18, gets warded off nicely by Hugh Roberts. And Taylor there to distribute. And it's intercepted. Adama Mbenge. He'll kick it to the left, and he's offside, or a flag is up.
I think it's our friend the linesman again giving another free kick.
And now a yellow has been issued. First booking of the night for either side. For dissent, Corey Herzog goes into the book of one Rubio Vasquez.
I think as the keeper tried to roll it out, there was contact between him and Herzog, and unfortunately in those situations you can't touch the keeper. But a yellow card seems a little bit harsh. But there you go.
Comes in our 83rd. .50-50 battle won by Orlando City. Molino surveys things in front, and Mbenge back heel. Now Span. He'll send it in. It's parried away by Taylor. Throw in Orlando.
Again, another comfortable save, but he needs to be making those saves, to be a top goalkeeper. But a good shot by Span, testing him.
Yambi backs in. Trying to turn it inside the box. Goal kick. Well, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube here in 2014. The features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. You can still subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Of course, 3 playoff games coming your way, provided the Lions continue winning. Turned by Basso. Span, nice job shielding the ball. Another decision by the referee.
Richmond substitution brought to you by Metro PCS.
Shea Spitz comes out. And Sasha Gores, the German, has been in Richmond since 2005. Also one of the assistant coaches for manager Lee Kalishaw. See some time here, the 34-year-old. A heady and smart player. We'll see where they slot him in. A lot of times he plays that center back spot, but you got 3 of them out there. I doubt he's going to be there.
No, I think they're just seeing out the game here, Richmond. Yeah, if they can nick one and get the draw, great. But again, it looks like Spitz is being rested for the playoffs.
Gores, a goal and 3 assists. Holds a U.S. National D license as a coach. All USL back in 2008. No surprise there. Kevin Molino once again the Orlando City man of the match, thanks to his goal back in the 22nd minute. About 5 minutes in stoppage to see if that 1 goal holds up for the 3 points here to close out the regular season. As Richmond pushes numbers forward, they're susceptible to the counter. Hugh Roberts does nicely to slow the attack. Pulis. Again, Bowden and Herzog have been out recently. There's a searching ball into the 18. Yambi outright. Lee got Hall. Richmond showing patience. Plenty of time. They've had some late game heroics in the past. Love nothing more to get some momentum going into the playoffs. And it'll be a throw in for Stephen Basso. Robinson. Oh, dangerous ball. Sliding in there to make the tackle was Tommy Redding.
Good tackle it was as well. An important moment. He was just about to pull the trigger.
Yambi gets the better of Molino there. That elicits, let's just say, some disagreement from the crowd. Entering our 88th minute. Orlando City has led it 1-0 since the 22nd. Now right side, Matthew Hall. It's actually Alex Lee. Takes one for the team, and Orlando will have the ball.
Bit of a mixed match there. Luke Bowden versus Lee.
Luke 6'2", Lee 5'10". So Wazinski sends it forward. Time running out for Richmond here. Yambi, he'll carry it all the way into the attacking half. Now retreat. Looking direct. Boy, a one-time effort by a diving Yaisley. Went over the top of the bar.
And that was really the chance. You know, they've been building up to that last 5 minutes or so. They've got back into the game, and we said it only takes one chance. And he probably should have done better with that, with Tommy Redding missing the header. It's good
across
service
from Lee. Great service.
Tommy Redding gets caught out of position. Maybe he wasn't expecting it. That's the only thing I can think there. But as a striker, you've always got to expect it, and he just come on him too quick and over the bar.
He Isley had a goal against Orange County last week. His third of the season. Close there if he could pull that one down. Oh, another dangerous ball. The back pass. And pushed off the ball again, Herzog. And both go down in a heap there. Herzog already has a yellow.
Now for me, that challenge on Herzog there is exactly what he did to the same defender, and there was a free kick called against him. It's just because it would have been a penalty, it, suddenly changes the referee's mind.
Well, Kevin Molino will end his regular season with 20 goals. He comes off, and it'll be a appreciative cheer right now as Deleuze will come on to replace him. So Kevin Molino, front runner, of course, probably for the League Player of the Year. We will know that here in a couple of weeks. But 20 goals to end his regular season. And I'm sure more are coming in the playoffs.
Yeah, nice touch there from Coach Heath, letting him get a single round of applause rather than ending the game as the team.
3 minutes have been tacked on to the end.
3 minutes of stoppage time.
That's how much time the Kickers have to get a point out of this one. Muscled off the ball was Mbenge.
Orlando City will just be looking to close this out now, but Richmond are getting more and more possession as this game ends.
Tighten it up. Lee running inside the box. The cross was there, just didn't get through. Nice job by Hall to at least put it in that direction. Goal kick. Let's see, Shasha.
So he's naming lights there, went for glory.
Yeah.
Show the young lads how to do it. Fortunately for him, didn't quite come off.
.50 ball. Vercoloni comes away. Yambi. 2 minutes remaining in this one, approximately. And that one pegged too far forward for Nate Robinson, who's speedy but not that speedy. Make sure you join us. Our next match is coming up your way Saturday, September 13th. That'll be at 7:30. First round of the 2014 USL Pro Playoffs. We can tell you that it will be either Rochester, Harrisburg, or Pittsburgh as the opponent for your Lions here. 2 of 3 of those teams have beaten Orlando City, so it's not a automatic pencil in an advancement. Boy, a great ball forward. That one goes across the face of goal as well, so back-to-back chances for Richmond here in the waning moments of this match.
Yeah, Orlando City now searching for the final whistle. This is 3 or 4 chances that's been in the last 5 minutes. And they're not really testing the keeper, but they're getting the chances. Less than a minute to go, though.
While Richmond has worn out opponents to score some late goals, Orlando City has shown the propensity to allow late goals on occasion.
And with the delicate 1-0 scoreline, they obviously need to keep the clean sheet.
And Redding will have it ruled against him. It is a throw-in for Richmond. He'll retreat. 2.5 minutes into the 3 minutes added time. Richmond trails 1-0. They have so since the 22nd minute. And Estrella, nice job to get it forward. Now Herzog will try to race to the corner. Gorez gives chase. And there is the whistle. An unbeaten season at home for Orlando City. This one goes to the Pride of Lions, 1-0 over Richmond as Lee Calishaw and Adrian Heath, the two friends, say see you in the playoffs perhaps. 1-0 Orlando.
Yeah, very impressive, Orlando City. Apart from really the final 5 minutes, I think they dictated the game. They kept possession. They had more possession territory, and they were able to see it out in the end, a 1-0 victory, and keep that home record unbeaten throughout the regular season.
19th win of the season for Orlando. That is a new USL Pro record as we take a look at the final stats from this contest.
And again, you know, it's a shame that we can't show the minutes of those, because, you know, the Richmond was really towards the end there that they got built up their stats. But impressive Orlando City, 13 shots on goal, 6 on target, and kind of shows their dominance throughout the game.
Lions had already clinched the Commissioner's Cup, and by winning their 13th game at home to go with no losses and 1 tie, they do it in style here against the Richmond Kickers. Playoffs are next. And for us, you see the stage being set up as the Commissioner's Cup, which goes to the regular season champion of USL Pro, will go to the Lions for the 3rd time in 4 years. That is coming up when we come back. You're watching Orlando City Soccer right here on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to give you the 2014 USL Pro regular season champions, Orlando City!
Well, another season And another piece of hardware to put on the mantle there at Orlando City headquarters. The Commissioner's Cup goes to the 2014 regular season champions, Orlando City. And well-deserved. An undefeated record at home made it possible.
Yeah, as you see there, everyone's getting a little touch of the cup and lifting it up. You know, there'll be some celebrations, but they know the job's not quite yet done. You know, the way it works in the US here and USL Pro is, you know, you win the regular season, you get a trophy, but you know, to be crowned champions of the year, you have to then win the playoffs as well.
One team that knows that all too well, the Richmond Kickers, who hosted that trophy last year, only to be upset in the semifinals of the playoffs. So a cautionary tale could be told by the team they defeated tonight 1-0 in the Richmond Kickers.
You know,
but certainly a night to celebrate. You got a week to get ready for your next opponent.
Yeah, and they'll go around now, you know, and show their appreciation to the fans. You know, who've turned out every week. And you know, they're a big part of these home games. You know, this is a reason why they're undefeated at home, is the fans come out every week and they're there to support them. And you know, they're almost a 12th man for them.
So the Lions complete a 19-4-5 regular season, lead the league in goals for, and the fewest goals conceded. Just another day for Orlando City. They are the champions. Playoffs coming up next week. We'll be glad to see you then. Thanks to my partner David Dykes for filling in, and to Austin Hill, our broadcast coordinator, our entire ESPN crew. I'm Jeff Ratcliffe saying so long from Walt Disney World. The Lions win it 1-0 in the season finale.